I've just recently signed to Next Models, which I'm very nervous, I must be honest, about, and excited at the same time. I was at the airport and I saw this little lady at Starbucks and she was on her BlackBerry like this. And then coincidentally, she happened to be sitting next to me on the plane. So we got talking and she gave me a card and she said, hey, you should think about being a model. And I was like, I can't be a model, I like my food. So we got talking about men and boys and all the girly stuff we talk about. And she took out Vogue magazine from her bag. And I was a musician at the time, doing quite well in the UK. And she opened it up and there was a picture of me in British Vogue. And she was like, is this you? And it was just all a huge coincidence that I'd met the lady in the airport. She was sitting next to me, and then now I'm on Next Models, and she's a dear friend of mine as well. She's a lovely lady. If I had to walk down an aisle for any designer, I think it would be one Chanel, because if I did Chanel, I think I'd probably faint and down the catwalk. It's more than just fashion, it is a lifestyle, and it just goes back so far back. And I'm a huge fan of Victor and Rolf because their designs are just so sculptured, very sculptured, forward-thinking fashion. I love Balenciaga. When I was about like 8 years old, I remember my mum would subscribe to Vogue magazine, and I always remember them being on the coffee table at home and going through the magazine pages. There were so many different styles, and I remember going in my mum's wardrobe and picking out her Chanel jackets, and because my mum was really into fashion as well, and trying them on, and they would be so big they would just fall off my back. And my mum also used to have a lot of black hair magazines as well, like for hair and styling, and I was really intrigued in beauty and stuff like that. So that's when I think I fell in love with the idea of fashion. VV Vintage came from literally me walking down the street and people constantly asking me, where did you get that jacket from? Where did you get that dress from? A lot of the stuff that I would wear, I customized myself. I do it as a hobby, really. I'm quite spontaneous when I'm shopping. I would find an old dress or a jacket that would look really oversized or not nice and turn it into something that looked better. If I see something, I'm like, oh, that's great. I started to put up the pieces on my website, and at the moment I've just started it, so it's very small, there's not loads of pieces up there, but I'd like it to grow. When it comes to celebrity style, the people that I think look really great are the ones that are innovative and are trying to push boundaries. I love what Gwen Stefani was doing. I'm a huge fan of Grace Jones and David Bowie because they played with fashion. Everything was like going into a new world, like a sci-fi world of new interesting things. I love Cyndi Lauper. I think that she was really cool and wacky and crazy. I even love Lady Gaga. I think that sometimes people give her a lot of stick, but I think she is incredible and she's brave. I think when you're brave in fashion, that's when you push things forward. Thandie Newton is also a very beautiful woman and she dresses very classically. It's not crazy, but she to me looks very classic and beautiful. Yeah, and you can check out my vintage pieces on vvvintage.com.